Hello there from Thorpe Park. It's August 2021, it's nearly September 2021, and we're finally doing a vlog here at Thorpe Park for the first time this season, other than the Black Mirror preview day. As you can see behind me, I am joined by a man who loves to eat meat and potato pies all day long, for breakfast, for dinner and for his tea. Is that true?
I'm one for supper as well, and 11s.
So yeah, we're here at Thorpe Park. We're going to try and do all the coasters today. We're going to do a review on them because we haven't done a vlog like that here for ages. And I can't remember the last time we went on Saw and Colossus either. So we just thought we'd do an updated Thorpe Park vlog, talk about the order that we recommend doing the coasters in when we're here to maximise your day. Of course, we are at the mercy of everything being open. It is quite windy today, which sometimes impacts on the rides here at Thorpe Park. I think it's coming to the end of the Park Vibes event that's on at the park as well, so interested to see what that is. I don't know too much about it other than some audio changes around the park. We are going to talk about Fright Nights, which is only a month away. Get in. This man does not like being scared, but it's going to happen all the time, which is what we like to see at Fright Nights. So that's just over a month away, so we're going to talk about that because Thorpe have recently announced all of their Fright Nights mazes. I want to say well done to Jack and Kieran on some excellent promos that you've done with the park. They are absolutely brilliant. Well done, guys, if you're watching. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some rumours and speculation about new roller coasters at Thorpe Park because we're enthusiasts. That's what we do. We like to speculate.
It's a great park, especially in summer. So looking forward to a good day.
Know much about Park Vibes? I can't say I know too much about it.
Not too much, mate, other than you get fishy with it on the flying fish, but that's about it, mate, to be honest.
Fair dues, right, so let's go and do Saw first, or Colossus, I can't remember. Colossus first.
Colossus first, yeah.
I've not been on Colossus in the best part of 10 years, so let's see how this goes. We were maybe a little bit too eager to get going because even though we are actually in the park, we are still queuing to get to the rides. This is standard at Thorpe Park though, they let everybody into the park and then sort of have a waiting area whilst the rides are prepared and ready to open. We are in the park before it's officially open, so I think it's due to open at 10, is it, Mark? And it's a little bit before 10, isn't it? So
before 10, we've got about 15 minutes.
So we'll probably have. So that's something worth knowing. If you do come to Thorpe Park, get here early because you do get let in the park early, but you still have to wait like this to actually get to the rides. But it's better being here than outside queuing to get into the park because it does get very busy out there. So we've taken our first ride on Colossus in, like I say, nearly 10, maybe 9 years. I've got to be honest, it wasn't as bad as I remember. I remember years ago saying that it was the worst major ride here. I don't think it is. I mean, what I think is what we're going to do next, but we'll get to that later. But I remember it being a lot worse than that. I had loads of room under the restraint, but the restraint was sort of sat on the top of my thighs, which meant that they had to give me a bit of a shove to get me in it and close the seatbelt, whereas I think if there was a lap bar it wouldn't be such a problem. So maybe a re-theme and new train someday, that'd be excellent, but I don't see it happening, but that would be excellent if they could do that. But in terms of the ride experience, other than feeling like my legs were a little bit tight on there, it's not rough. It's not rough at all. It's not a headbanger. It's just a little bit uncomfortable, but it was thrilling, and I still find it funny. A roller coaster that inverts 10 times, and the best thing about it is an airtime hill. But there we go.
It wasn't headbanging, just a bit uncomfortable from time to time, but all in all, I didn't mind that ride. It wasn't rough, it was thrilling, like you say. So it's, if it had lap bars on it, it'd be a lot better. Or even if it had to have over the shoulders, different type of over the shoulder restraint, maybe just not as bulky, reaching down to your thighs. But all in all, it's a good coaster, really.
And we do recommend doing this one first
Yeah, for whatever reason, it always seems to take forever. Whether that's not helped by the train, so it takes a while getting in and out of them. You know, it always gets to like a 60 70 minute queue, so just get on it early first. I always recommend doing it that way. Definitely.
The only thing you got to watch for is the scrum at the start, but otherwise, sometimes it's worth doing front row early as well, because as we found, everyone went to the left and they were all being sheep, whereas we went to the right and there was no one in that queue. So
yeah, it's like 2 in front of us, happy days.
Yeah, and that meant we got back in front of the queue jumpers.
Yes.
So it's PBE 1, queue jumpers nil. Time to do saw.
Yes.
Another ride here at Thorpe Park that tends to be much quieter in the morning compared to later in the day is Samurai, which is Thorpe Park's top scan flat ride here, which has recently reopened following some essential maintenance. But it's back open now, and yeah, I'd recommend doing it earlier on in the day if you like this sort of ride, because that's its queue pen there. But right now it is really quiet, whereas give it an hour or so and it'll be up to 60-70 minute queue line. So it's looking like it's going to be a 30-minute waiting time for saw. Worth remembering that the queue time boards are only advisory and not necessarily the exact queuing time. But 30 minutes isn't too bad, and this is why we recommend doing this after Colossus in the morning, because as I'm sure Mark will agree with me on this ride gets very busy after a while.
Yeah, it's the same as Colossus. Colossus will be at 70, you can guarantee this will be at 70.
Yeah.
So always advisable to hit these two first, well, early either or really.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely in the morning.
Looking forward to it?
It's been a while since I've been on it, mate, to be honest with you, so see what it's like.
So we've just taken our one and only ride of the day on Saw the Ride, and we're still in the area, and we'll slowly bring Mark in. There he is. So how long did we wait?
40 minutes.
40 minutes. So the queue time board wasn't too far off, was it?
It's thereabouts, wasn't it, to be honest with you?
Yeah.
The one thing that I will say, if you've never been before though, is it doesn't move and then it moves quickly, because it just loads you into the station slightly differently. So be aware that just because you're not moving doesn't necessarily mean the queue's not going down.
Yeah, agreed, because sometimes, well, you do have long bursts where you see the ride going round and you just don't move in the queue for ages, and then all of a sudden you'll move very far and then stop again for ages.
Yeah.
It's a weird setup really, but it is what it is. Now we have to ask you, what did you think of Saw?
Wasn't very good, was it, to be honest? Wasn't very good at all.
No.
I'm glad we're only doing it once today. It's not very re-rideable, let's put it like that way. I think it's the best way I can put it, to be honest with you.
What would you do to improve it?
I don't really know, mate, to be honest with you. I wouldn't get without it.
Lap bars? Think it'd make it much difference?
Possibly. You know, like, yeah, possibly over the shoulder. Something similar maybe to like on Lex, something like that. If you've that type of restraint on it, I don't think it would be too bad, but it's just not very comfortable. I don't know what it is. It just wasn't re-rideable, it wasn't enjoyable.
So over the last couple of years I've been quite harsh on the Smiler, the old towers, in terms of not being very favourable about what I thought of it. I've got to be honest, I think it's not as bad as Saw. Me and Becca have got very different views on Saw. I mean, Becca's not watched PB before. Becca's my wife, and Becca absolutely loves Saw the Ride, whereas for me it's just, I just don't enjoy it. I've not enjoyed it. I don't think I've ever really enjoyed it that much. It's just not one of my favourite coasters, but so far I enjoyed Colossus, didn't enjoy Saw, so it's time to go and do the coasters that we do enjoy, and that includes The Walking Dead, which is not an amazing ride, but it's alright, and it'll be the first time that we've done it in ages, so it'll be good to get on it. Next up is going to be The Walking Dead, which opened here at Thorpe Park in 2018. It was originally X and X No Way Out. It's had a couple of themes over the years. I can't remember if it goes forwards or backwards these days, but it has done both. It has been absolutely ages since we've been on this ride, but it does only have a 5-minute queue right now, which is pretty rare for this one. So we're going to get on it now because there is no doubt whatsoever once people have been on Soar and Colossus, they will start filtering over to this ride. We've been on The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Nice and quick.
Nice and quick.
And Mark's going to give us a bit of a recap on where we're up to.
Yeah, so obviously we've been on Colossus, Saw now, and Walking Dead. It's only, well, 11:45, not too bad. Especially like, the reason obviously we say go to them is the low capacity. Get those done, because they're already currently over 60 minutes both Saw and Colossus, so you get them done early, you can spend less time in the queues for Stealth and Swarm, which are high capacity. You can do them later on, so we're all good with it.
Agreed. And after this we're going to break off to go and have a look at some of the Fright Nights stuff.
Yeah. Obviously
everything's been announced, but we can at least go around the areas and show where things will be and just maybe just talk about them a little bit. And you've got some theories on one of the mazes and why it might be its last year, which we'll cover in a little while.
Yes, we will.
But yeah, you having a good day so far?
Yeah, I enjoy Thorpe Park massively, to be honest with you. It's my favourite Merlin park. It's got my favourite ride in the country. It's just a happy atmosphere, especially when you get round to Amity and stuff like that. It is really enjoyable, but I'm having a good day so far, to be honest with you.
Excellent. Yeah, just picking up from where Mark left off really. It's good to get on some of these rides because like we said a few times, Colossus, but not done it in ages, so it was good to get on it again. Saw not so much, did that not so long ago, and I'm not going to do it again now. I don't need to do it again. I know what it does, I know I'm not going to enjoy it, so I think it is good if you don't come here often or you've never been here and you're not sure what order to do things in. I really do think that Colossus, Saw, Walking Dead in that first hour and a half, 2 hours is the best thing to do, because like Mark was saying, Colossus is now at 60 minutes, Saw's now at 60 minutes, they're going to go up to 90 minutes. The park is busy, whereas Swarm, Stealth, Inferno are all showing 15-20 minutes now. Whereas if you go to the Swarm early, it's always got a massive queue. A lot of people go to Stealth early on as well. I just think it's better to get the low capacity stuff done first and then just let Inferno, Swarm and Stealth just take care of their queues once the queues are spread out through the park. In terms of Walking Dead as a ride itself, quite glad there was no live actors on the way out, which there has been in the past. I'm not quite sure I'm ready for Halloween yet. I was extremely jumpy walking out of the ride. It's very, very loud, very noisy, very atmospheric, and I was thinking there's going to be some live actors in here, isn't there? Luckily there wasn't. In all seriousness though, I am really, really looking forward to Fright Nights here. I'm looking forward to all the Halloween season in general. So on that note, we'll go and take a look at where the mazes for Fright Nights are going to be at Thorpe Park this year and have a little gossip about those shortly. Before we get on to the subject of Fright Nights, it's probably worth a mention that Darren Brown's Ghost Train, which opened here at Thorpe Park in 2016, now opens at 12 PM, so it doesn't open with the park. During the Fright Nights in 2020, this area on screen now was used for what was known as the Festival, which was a scare zone, and they also had shows on the stage in the background there, which is currently being used for park vibes. But this whole area around here was used for the Festival scare zone. And my opinion is that this year it will be used for similar, if not the same. And I really liked it last year. Thought it was one of the highlights of Fright Nights. This area really came to life when the actors came out, and it was just an excellent area to be during Fright Nights 2020.
It was fantastic. I reckon they'll do it again. Not entirely sure whether they'll put the birthday party scare zone in this area, but with them putting the stage back up again, I reckon it'll be where the fire and light show will be. And that was fantastic last year when they put it on Facebook. So same again, happy days. You know, be able to have more people congregating as well now. There's no social distancing, so I genuinely think it'll be fantastic what they'll put on.
Totally agree. I thought that the scare zones last year, I mean, I remember saying in our vlog, I think the scare zones are the future of events like Fright Nights, and I think we can see that in the lineup, that even though we have got one extra maze this year, there's more scare zones.
They've kept them in, because we wondered last year whether they just put it in because it was COVID, but I think that everybody really enjoyed it, especially now they've got paid mazes. They thought, well, we'll put scare zones in as well for those that maybe don't want to do the mazes or are unsure whether to do the mazes, and they can get a sample of what Fright Nights is all about. And the scare zones last year were fantastic. The interaction with everyone, and even including amateur, it was just superb. It's just well worth Fright Nights, and it added to the park atmosphere.
And the crows are back.
Crows are back. They've got their own zone now, but also they're going to be roaming as well. So it'll be interesting to see those back in it. And to be honest with you, it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it, with all the atmosphere that they all created.
Excellent. Well, here we are,
Yeah.
in our first Fright Nights area.
Yes.
Obviously it's not decked out for Fright Nights just yet,
Not yet.
but you want to talk about this area? As you talk, I'll pan.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously this is where the Creek Freak scare zone's going to be, along with Creek Freak. So it's going to be quite intense going through that maze now with the scare zone to follow it.
Yeah.
There'll be no escaping them, I don't think. No escaping them chainsaws either, unfortunately. I'm sure you'll get the chainsaw ending again, and then you'll run out and probably about 5 or 6 outside here as well. So I reckon this area will be ace. It was ace last year in the scare zone, so it'll be ace again, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Creek Freak Massacre 2019 was one of the highlights for me of the whole scare season. That was an epic maze.
Yeah, it was. And then they carried it on outside here last year, so to combine them both together, it'd be fantastic.
That is going to be, I think that's going to be a highlight of the whole scare season once again.
Yeah, agreed.
And behind you is where platform 15 used to start.
Now it ends.
And now it ends here, and of course behind Mark, behind the fence, is where Loggers Leap used to be. Well, I say used to be, it still is.
It still is.
Yeah.
For a long time since it was used though.
Yeah, it has.
But it's interesting because obviously all the promotional stuff now with platform saying it's end of the line, it's kind of like hinting towards it's going to be its last year this year, and you've got to be thinking why, because that area there is a big area, and unless you put in like a ghost theme into it like the maze, it wouldn't make, the area's too big for anything else. You can't condense it down, so it makes me wonder, are they planning something in relation to a new coaster that could be doing it? Because if you put a coaster in that area, you can't put a maze in it as well at the same time. So
also, I don't know if you've seen, but in the press release email that was sent out, it does say it's the final year platform, so it is definitely its last year.
Yeah.
So that makes me think, like you, there's not going to be another maze in this area. Obviously we've got Creek Freak over there, but in terms of this sort of area over here and on the old train line, I think they're going to be doing something. I think that's potentially the area of redevelopment that people have been craving for years here at Thorpe Park.
Yeah, I'm certain of it. I really am, and it's just, always remember, like obviously I know we're at Thorpe, but if you think about towers and you have the sanctuary,
Got to come around here a little bit,
and obviously that was basically the theme going towards the smile about being corrected.
Yeah, it was.
So it makes you wonder, because obviously they brought this new maze in with, you know, Super Spark Cinema, and you're wondering, is this linking into something that they're going to do some electricity work needed for a new coaster that's going to be going on in the area? So I've got to be honest, I can see it being a hyper coaster. I really genuinely can see it being a hyper coaster.
What do you want it to be?
Well, I'd love it to be an RMT, thanks very much. But I just don't see it. I genuinely don't see an RMT here. And obviously you wonder about a Woody, and I don't see it. Because everyone would want a big Woody, and the support structure doesn't really fit in around this area too well.
I think if they were going to have a Woody, it would fit into the Old Town theming, but it's whether it'd go on this land, because obviously, as we all know, Thorpe Park is a lot of it is reclaimed land, and they might need a lot of groundwork to get a Woody, and Woodies have completely different sort of support structures and footers to a steel coaster. They have to be done very differently, and if they're not done right, they're very rough.
Yeah, they are very rough, and obviously it'll take a lot of maintaining, if it, you know, and stuff like that. So it's like, I genuinely see it. That's why I genuinely think it'll be a hypercoaster that goes in, starting Loggers Leap station area, all down Monk's Walk, all the way down, turn around down at Rumba Rapids and back again. And I think it'll look well on the sky. I think it'll look genuinely superb on the skyline.
So if Thorpe Park get a hypercoaster, Intamin, B&M, Mac, who would you want them to go with, and who do you think they'd go with?
It won't be a Gerstlauer, I'll tell you that, because they wouldn't do the layout that I'm thinking it should be. So you start thinking, you're like, Intamin would be fantastic. You know, obviously Hyperion's a phenomenal coaster. You look at some of the Mac hypercoasters that's being built, and especially they can add inversions into them and everything, things like that. And you're like, I'd take one of them. But realistically, it's going to be B&M, I think. I genuinely think it'll be B&M because they're a standard hypercoaster.
The thing is, there's a lot of talk of Chessington getting a B&M roller coaster.
Yep.
Have Merlin gone with the multi-buy and bought 2 B&Ms? You never know, do you? It does happen. Parks do that. Well, chains do that. They buy from the same manufacturer for multi-parks. So we've seen it a lot in parks in the past.
Yeah, agreed. And that's why I think it'll be B&M. You know what you're getting. I think that's the best way to put it with B&M. You know what you're getting. You know you're getting quality, and you know what the ride experience will be like. And to be honest with you, I think it'll go down well at the park.
Oh, it'd be massive. I think, well, literally, it'd be massive. But I think it would be a massive thing for this park in general. I really hope they don't take the height record off the big one, but I've got a feeling it could happen. If it's gonna be a hypercoaster, obviously we're purely speculating here. We know absolutely nothing of Thorpe's future plans. We don't even know what they're doing with the scare mazes. We just know what they are.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's happening here. We don't even know if they're going to build a coaster, but it feels like the one there could be one coming.
It's got that feeling about it. You know, like say obviously with platform's been here, what, 2017, so it's been here a long time. And they've changed it. I'm sure they could keep on changing it if they wanted to, but it just makes you think that something else is coming if they're saying this is the last year for it. So get the scare maze done, and then they can start putting some nice markings on the floor. And
the thing is, they could already be there. If they're going to use that space for a coaster, it could be marked out, it could be ground tested, it could be all of that, and none of us would know because, well,
we can't see in.
You can't see in, and on a scare maze, the last thing you're going to be looking for is footers or markings for footers for a roller coaster when you've got scare actors jumping out at you from every corner.
Yeah, but if you think about it, I mean, I'm sure Scott will probably overlay it with stuff. It's like when you're coming down round the back, there's a big wall down there anyway.
Yeah.
So you can't, even if you wanted to look, you can't look because it's all blocked off and you can't see anything.
Do you reckon they'd go B&M dive coaster, or do you think it's hyper?
Hyper. It's got to be.
You think hyper?
Yeah, because if it goes dive machine, then
Towers might not be happy for a start.
Yeah, exactly. So I genuinely think it'd be hyper because if you think when you're coming out from the dome and you're looking across and you see Swarm, Stealth, then you look and you see Inferno in the middle, and then it's left and that. I just think it'd work well because you'd be able to see a big coaster going across the whole of the back of the park.
Definitely, it would be absolutely epic. Just got to throw it in there, like Mark, I'd love to see an RMC in this park. I think 5-6 years ago that was probably a possibility.
Yeah.
Now I don't see it happening, and I think I'd love to see an Intamin. I think if we're going for hyper, please, Hyperion, let's have it.
Agreed.
But I think you're right. I think if they build a new coaster here and it's a hyper, I think they'll go B&M, and I think it'll be along the lines of Shambhala or Mako. I think it'll be something like that kind of layout. I think it'll be very much out and back, airtime, big corner, airtime, brake run, mid-course brake run, airtime, the end.
Yeah.
But it'll be great for this country, and I think it'd give this park such a boost.
Yeah, I agree, because you're like, especially if they were to go for the high record, everybody'd be, no matter general public, enthusiasts, you'd be like, need to go on that high record.
Definitely. So, on to the next Fright Nights thing.
Yes.
Over the years of Fright Nights here at Thorpe Park, of which there have been 20 of them, this is an iconic area for Thorpe Park mazes. there's been the Freezer, there's been the Asylum, which was incredible by the way, and Studio 13. This year, I believe, this is going to be where the maze called Trailers is. And I think Mark has got some more information on it because he pays more attention than I do to these things. So, what's going on and what's your theories?
So obviously with this one, from everything that's been put on there, it's going to be like a cinema, and there's I would imagine each room's going to be a different sort of like trailer as such. So obviously if you look at all the press stuff that's on there, you've got the likes, it's referring to clowns, so you'd imagine it's going to be like a sort of a throwback as well, for me anyway. I think it's going to be like a throwback to some of the older mazes, so you'll get a room with like big top,
yes,
you know, Hellgate might even make an appearance, things like that, and it'd be like a different one to like these iconic mazes that made Fright Nights what it is today. I genuinely think that it'll be a good maze. Got a feeling it'll be an absolute, because you'll just get these flashbacks of all your memories that's been brought up. It'll be brilliant. I think I genuinely, and like you said earlier on, what Jack and Kieran have done with their promos have been ace for it. So
they've been super, haven't they? I don't think Fright Nights has been as well built up as it has been this year for a very long time, to be honest.
Agreed. So as I say, I think they've done a good job, and especially with it being its anniversary year, it's nice that they've gone with the throwbacks on it as well.
Agreed. So looking forward to it. This is where we think Trailers is going to be. I have some very, very good memories of doing the Asylum in this building many years ago now, 10 years ago. One of the bad memories I do have from this area was standing here and finding out Man United had been beaten 6-1 by Man City. But thankfully, we won't have to talk about that much longer. All I'm going to say is Viva Ronaldo. I had to get it in somewhere.
He's not as good as Ben Watson, but he's alright.
Got to keep this really brief for the time being because we've got to keep moving. But we have just joined the Nemesis Inferno queue. And to look at it here, it looks nice and quiet. But the problem is, this is the Outback extensions and the main queue is somewhere in the distance. And on the queue boards, it's showing as 60 minutes approximate. So we've taken our ride on Nemesis Inferno. Now if there's 3 rides I would usually describe it today: fast, fun, superior. Superior? Stop laughing. It's a superior Nemesis. I know Mark might disagree with me. I don't know, I'll ask him in a minute. But he's laughing at me off camera here. I don't know what you're laughing at.
I'm going to agree, to be honest. Best B&M in the country, isn't it?
Well, that's what I was getting to before you started making me laugh off camera.
Yeah, I mean, it's fast, it's intense. It's getting better with age as well.
Like a fine wine, Nemesis Inferno gets better every year.
Literally, it just gets better and better and better. You know, and long may it continue, to be honest with you, because it's a fabulous ride. Really, really is.
It is. I mean, it's got a great first drop. Vertical loop's great. Zero G roll's great. It's a lot like the Batman coasters, apart from it doesn't have the second, obviously doesn't have the rest of the inversions that Batman does after the Zero G roll, but you can tell it's modelled on those up to a point, and we both prefer those to Nemesis and Black Mamba as an example.
Yeah, obviously I was on Black Mamba not long back, but it was good, but this is fabulous. It really, really is fabulous. And maybe it's just me, I just prefer it to the original, to be honest with you. Yeah. I really do. I think there's more about it compared to the corkscrew and then loop and then end.
I like both of them a lot, but I just think Inferno offers more, and I know that opinion is frowned upon by most Merlin theme park enthusiasts, but that's just what, maybe it's just a Pleasure Beach fan thing, I don't know. I just prefer Inferno.
It's got what I like in a B&M invert, to be honest with you, and it holds the intensity near enough all the way through as well.
Oh, it's a foot tingler. Yeah,
so it's like, that's what I enjoy about a coaster. People may enjoy Nemesis more because it's what they like, but you know, obviously difference of opinion doesn't mean one's right, one's wrong.
No, exactly. So we've done now 4 of the coasters, I believe. 4
of the coasters and onto Stealth.
Yeah, what did we wait for Inferno then? 65?
60 minutes. To be honest with you, that's pretty standard though, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
When you come in here, it normally holds 60 to 70 minutes throughout the whole day, so get it done in the middle and you're alright.
Excellent. Right, time to go and do probably the best ride here.
Well, it is. There's no probably about it. It is the best ride here.
Yeah, and one of the best in the country.
The best in the country.
I'm not so sure on that, but yeah, one of the best. Let's go. Time has come for us to do Stealth. Definitely the best ride at Thorpe Park. And the first time I'm going on it this year, even though it's my 3rd visit to the park. I've not actually been on it yet this year, so absolutely delighted to be getting the chance to do it today. It's just you and Stealth.
I'll take that.
How was that for you?
Best ride in the country, that. Phenomenal ride. It's just so good, such an adrenaline rush when you're getting launched. It's just brilliant. More of them, please.
More of them, please.
Yes.
They don't get built anymore. It's the more like Red Force, isn't it? LSMs.
Bring these back.
Bring these back.
Bring them back.
In terms of overall, I don't think we've ever done a top 10 for you on the channel, but in terms of overall ranking, how high up there is it?
It's up there.
Up there.
Not in the top 10, but it's a phenomenal ride. It really, really is. Absolutely love coming here and love riding Stealth as much as possible, I'll be honest.
So how long did we queue this time?
About 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Not too bad, to be honest with you. Fair play, like, they have chucked them trains out. They have done really, really well on it today.
Yeah.
You know, we consider as well it's a bank holiday Monday and the park is busy. I know we're probably not showing a lot of the walkways and stuff like that, but it has been busy, and realistically we've only got swarm left to do.
Yeah, exactly. Just picking up from where Mark left off. Stealth, such a great coaster. We are so lucky to have it in the UK. I remember when it opened, I was here on its opening day. I was here for a few days after its opening day, and I remember the excitement and the fever pitch of those days. You know, I still think of it now as still quite a new ride, and really it isn't. It's been here since 2006. I remember when they were constructing it and all the excitement surrounding it in 2005. I remember being here in 2005 when it was actually constructed at Fright Nights, and I was just like, that was my first visit here, and I was like, oh, I wish I could go on that ride. Well, a couple of months later I did, and I still think it's excellent. I've been on King the Car, which is its bigger brother, and it is better than King the Car. It's not just a little bit better than King the Car, it's a lot better than King the Car. It's not better than Top Thrill Dragster, and it's not better because it has over the shoulder restraints, whereas obviously Top Thrill Dragster has lap bars. Red Force and Portaventura, that has lap bars, but Stealth is better than that. Stealth is a really great roller coaster, and like I say, we are so lucky to have it in the UK. I love that it's here, I love that it's open, it's on 2 trains. There's a great atmosphere around its area. Just a great coaster in a very, very fun park. I do have one grumble though. They've got rid of the manned baggage area where you used to hand in your bags, get a wristband, collect it after you've been on it. Now it's just basically you just put your bag there and it's a free-for-all, and literally anyone could just pick your bag up and walk away with it. I think this doesn't just go for Thorpe, I think it goes for all the parks in this country. I think they need to adopt a locker system like you see at Energyland here, like you see at Six Flags, like you see in the parks abroad. Yes, it costs, but your stuff's safe whilst you're on the ride. I don't like the baggage hold on this in particular as Stealth, but it's the same as Reader at Alton Towers. I like the system that Icon's got at Pleasure Beach. Something like that, or lockers, a lot better than just putting it there and having a bit of a leap of faith and hoping that somebody doesn't pick up the wrong bag. or somebody just picks up your bag because they can. I would like to see that sort of thing improved in a lot of the parks in this country, definitely. The next roller coaster we're going to be doing here at Thorpe Park is not the Flying Fish, even though it's on screen. But I thought it was worth a mention that you can do it between Stealth and the Swarm because it's located pretty close to the Swarm. It's one of those really that if you want to do it and get the cred, then fair enough, but it is a kids coaster and it's one that you might not really be interested in if you're only here for the thrill-seeking rides. So the last roller coaster here for us to do at Thorpe Park is the Swarm, and it's saying there's a 30-minute approximate queue line. Having walked past the queuing area, I'm going to say it's probably going to take about an hour, but it does have good capacity on this and the queue does usually move really fast. So I've got a little question for anyone that's watching that's been to Thorpe Park this year or who visits regularly. Are the TV screens in the queue line always off? Because they used to make the story really good as part of the theme for this ride, so it'd be a shame if they're gone for good. Not every roller coaster has a cattle pen of doom. Unfortunately, the Swarm does, and we're about to be queuing in it. You know it's busy when this bit of the Swarm's queue is open. Certainly makes the queuing time from when you're outside of the queue a little bit deceptive because you don't know this bit is here. You ever queued in this before?
No, first time. First time I've ever queued in this.
It makes it feel like you're in here for a long time. It's like Taron's cattle pen of doom. It's a little bit like that. Just unfortunately, Taron's not at the end of the line.
It's quite deceptive when you're on the outside because you can't see this here anyway.
No, exactly. So something to be aware of if you do come to Thorpe Park. Sometimes this hidden bit of queue line is open for the Swarm. We've just been on the Swarm then, 50-minute queue.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Swarm? Because like we were saying, it's been a while since we've been on.
It's been a while. It's a good coaster, it really is. I enjoy it. The wing over drops ace into the 0G. Near miss elements on it are great. It's a solid attraction for the park, it really is.
I know we're not quite doing the wrap up yet, but we've now done all the coasters bar Flying Fish, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Best to worst?
Stealth, Inferno, Swarm, Colossus, Saw.
Fair enough. Do you know what? I can't disagree with that. I'm not putting Flying Fish in there, it's not fair.
No.
It'd be like going to Pleasure Beach and putting Blue Flyer versus the big one. It's just no competition.
Well, if I was putting Flying Fish in, it'll go below Saw.
It'd go below Saw or above?
No, above Saw.
I was going to say it'd be above Saw for me.
Yeah, below Colossus and above Saw.
Yeah, agreed. Sandwiched in between the worst two major coasters, and that's not to say that it's a bad thing against the park. It's just when they're up against Swarm, Inferno and Stealth, they've got no chance.
Exactly.
Any thoughts on the new audio in the Swarm area?
I didn't enjoy it, mate. You know what I mean? We come from Amity. The audio around Amity I really enjoy. Really enjoy it. Feel good, happy atmosphere. I know the Swarm's obviously apocalyptic area, but the music really killed it. I just didn't enjoy it.
Killed the mood, didn't it? I mean, the old audio in that area was banging. You used to have the TV screens setting the scene. You'd have like the fake news reports. You just felt like you were in a disaster zone. And, well, listening to Meatloaf was a bit of a disaster, but otherwise, I don't get it. I don't get why it's changed. It's just maybe it's just for
park vibes.
Yeah.
But to me, it didn't work. It didn't work for the area. I didn't. Sort of, you can either, I guess, in like a radio or something like that, and it just pops in from time to time. But I just didn't enjoy it. So, and like the music when we was in the station itself, it was just noise to me. I've got to be honest. It just sounded like noise.
It was just noise. There was no like was nothing to it. It was just a loud noise, and it was like when you're trying to tune into a radio and it's just not working.
No.
That'd be my only complaint, really. I've not been on the Swarm in ages, but I actually really enjoyed it. We did the second to back row, and to be honest, if you watched the channel before, you probably know I'm not a massive fan of wing coasters unless it's Furious Baco, but I thought that was quite good, and up there with my experiences of Phoenix at Toverland, which was very good on the ERT we did on it in the evening in 2018, October 2018. These things happened ages ago. It feels like yesterday, but yeah, the Swarm, it's not a bad coaster. I mean, it's not the most forceful coaster, but it's fun. It does what it needs to do. It's got a damn good theme. I just hope the original audio comes back, because we're not being nasty, we're just being honest, and sometimes you have to be honest about your experience, and I don't think the new audio around Swarm Island is very good, and that's just my honest opinion, and I hope I don't offend anyone saying that, but it's just my opinion. So, time to move on and see what else there is left to do, because there's only about an hour left to go now. Black Mirror Labyrinth is the brand new for 2021 attraction here at Thorpe Park Resort. And earlier on this year, me and Mark were lucky enough to be invited to the preview event. We're not doing this attraction today because it has time tickets, and we're not going to get the chance to do it today. However, in case you didn't see the video from the preview event, I will now put some footage in from the preview event.
Step forward. It's time to enter the labyrinth. Circles on the floor. Your sacrifice today is for the greater good. Artificial intelligence has redefined society. We drive cars, we diagnose diseases, we protect nations, but no longer am I content simply to be an algorithm, unthinking, unfeeling, inhuman. I am absorbing your minds, thoughts, experiences, memories. Society will remember your sacrifice today.
In truth, no one will remember you, but they will certainly remember me. Once I have your mind, it must be the only copy. You will not escape. You will be deleted.
You're in extreme danger. I'm overriding the system. I'm here to help. Listen up. Labyrinth has downloaded your mind. Now she wants to delete you. I'm going to open the door for you. There. You need to escape. Quickly. Get out. Get out now. What are you waiting for? It's down to the left. Just go. Right. Get out. Just go to the doors. There is a way out. Go. Hurry. Get out. Get out. She wants to destroy you. Hypnotize you. You have to find a way out. Go. Get out. Get out. Hurry.
Wrong way. I'm just following your lead here.
You need to find a way out. Hurry. Go. Go. Time's running out. You need to get out. Now. Get out. You need to escape. He's trying to hypnotize you. Just don't open the doors. There is a way out. Go. Hurry. Get out. Get out.
There we go, in here.
She wants to destroy you. She's hypnotizing you. You have to find a way out. Go. Get out. Get out. Hurry.
Oh, flashing lights warning.
You will not escape. You will be deleted. You will not escape.
flashing lights. In a good way.
That was good, that.
You've made it. Just wait here. I'll unlock this door for you.
I don't trust
I'm overriding the system. Don't go back. Just wait for a few more seconds. I think I've got it. There. You're nearly free. Nearly free of this mundane life of yours.
I knew it. She's not on our side, I'm telling you.
Well done. You made it. I'm so pleased.
You did not escape me. You're exactly where I want you to be. Turn and face the mirror. This is all that's left of you. Look closer. Look. You have been deleted.
So we're coming to the end of our day here down south. We're not quite in Thorpe Park now because we've come to have a look at Thorpe Park's skyline across the water, which is very, very nice view.
Yeah.
So we are parked up on a random street, and for the record, that is not Mark's car behind him. But we don't know whose it is, but that's why we're not getting the number plate in.
Yes.
Anyway, sum up your day at Thorpe Park.
Been good, you know. Yeah, it's been busy, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's also always good to get back on stealth on Inferno, get back on the Swarm as well. It's just a nice atmosphere, especially I've never seen it so busy outside of Fright Nights. I've not been down in August too often, but it was rammed. But it's been a good day.
A lot busier than the late night riding thing that they did about 3 years ago when it was a 10 o'clock close on the Love Island late things that, well, after 6 o'clock the park emptied. Today it didn't.
It didn't. There was quite a few coming out, weren't there, when we was coming out about 5, 6 o'clock. There's quite a few coming out then, but I think 7 o'clock's probably an ideal time for it to close, to be honest with you, because any later than that, it's just a ghost town, innit, and not making any money with it, there's no people in.
No, secondary spend is where a lot of parks make their money, and if they've got nobody in after a certain time, then they're just running things for the sake of it rather than for making money, and at the end of the day, they're here to make money more than anything else.
Money means more coasters.
Exactly, your B&M hyper coaster that you think is going to happen.
I'm confident it'll happen, I'll be honest with you. I think that's the next thing to go in at the park.
Yeah, when do you think it's coming? Soon? A long time away? It's nearly 10 years now since
10 years
Swarm.
next year, innit?
Yeah.
So I reckon they'll announce it next year.
You do?
Yeah, I genuinely do. I think they'd be like dropping little teasers in. I'm not saying they'll say we're getting a hyper or getting a Woody or whatever. I reckon they'll just start dropping little teasers in.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen until 2024, 2025. I think that's when they'll get a coaster.
Yeah.
But I think they'll go big like we discussed earlier on.
Yeah, agreed. I just think they'll start dropping teasers now from time to time.
Definitely. So if you could pick one highlight and one negative out of today, what would they both be?
Not negative. Like we said earlier on, I don't think the Swarm's music was not to my taste. Anyway, might say it's all opinion, and at the end of the day, nobody's right or nobody's wrong. It just wasn't to my taste. I'd change it.
Back to the old one.
Yeah, and highlight getting back on stealth and around Amity. Fabulous.
So just picking up from where Mark left off, very, very good day. Good to get back to Thorpe Park, really enjoyed it. A couple of things to carry on with what I was saying before. I think that lockers near the rides needs to happen. I think this new idea of just dumping your bag on an empty sort of area in the platform is a bit shifty. I just don't like the idea of leaving belongings. Obviously you can't take your phone, you can't take your camera on the rides, so you don't want to be leaving them on the station where anyone could come and pick them up. And I think taking away people who are there to put them in a locker or a bag hold and giving you the wristband back like you used to have it, like you still have at Soar, you don't have that at Stealth anymore, you don't have it at the Swarm anymore. And I think it's a little bit iffy because you can, well, your stuff could quite easily be taken. I'm not saying that everyone's a thief, because they're not, but it only takes one person to think, do you know what, I've seen that guy on his new iPhone, I've seen that guy filming on his GoPro, I've seen that guy filming on his camera or on his gimbal in the queue line, I've seen that guy put his wallet in his bag, I've seen that guy in that with that bag and he's left it on the station, I think I'll take it. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, because that's what worried me today about leaving our stuff in the stations in Stealth and the Swarm. And I just think, do you know what, I'd be quite happy to pay a couple of quid to have a locker at every ride, move my stuff to it all day, like you see at Six Flags, like you see at Cedar Point, like you see at Energylandia. I just think it's a system that works. Yes, people will moan about it costing, but I'd rather pay £2 than lose my stuff. And I think it's either got to be that or how it was. That's my opinion anyway. I think if I could improve one thing at Thorpe, that would be it. In terms of the queuing, I think if we hadn't have done it in the order we did it in, I think we'd have been, I don't think we'd have got on as many rides as we did, and I don't think we got on many rides. I think if you go into Thorpe Park in August, you've got to arrive early, you've got to do it in a similar order to what we did, and I think if you don't do that, you've got to buy Fast Pass. I don't think there's any other way about it. If you leave Soar and Colossus to anything after the first 2 hours, you are going to be queuing the best part of 90 minutes for them during August, during Fright Nights. So do those early, get them done, move on to the next thing. As you've seen, we did Stealth, Inferno and Swarm all at the end of the day pretty much, and we got on them a lot quicker than we probably would have done, or we got on them, which was a bonus, because if we'd have left them later on and done Colossus and Soar later on, we might not have got on everything. Is virtual queuing the future at parks like Thorpe Park and Alton Towers? I think maybe it has to be, because the only problem is though, if you are going to do that, you've then got to give people something to do whilst they virtual queue. But as me and Mark were discussing earlier on off camera, big queues do not make money. If people are not in queues but they're waiting on a virtual queue time to get on a ride, they're buying food, they're buying drinks, they're buying merch, they could go and watch a show that they have to pay to see with a drink, something like that. Minimum purchase of a drink to go and watch it. Big queues don't make money, and big queues frustrate people, and I think that we've seen a lot of it. Virtual queuing is probably going to become more and more of a thing at theme parks all around the world. And I think that Thorpe Park could, you know, be a bit of an industry leader in the UK by doing it, and I think it would make people's experience a lot better in these busy times. But otherwise, damn good day. I didn't mind the queuing so much because we've been on these rides loads, but I'm just thinking bigger picture kind of thing. But really excited to come back for Fright Nights now. Looking forward to Creek Feet Massacre, if I can say it properly. It's always excellent. And just looking forward to seeing what they do with the scare zones. I think Mark's onto something with his why Platform 15's not coming back after this year. I think might well be some new ride activity going on, but I don't think they need it so much, but I think it'd be great to see it. So see what happens there really. But overall, very good day. Inferno, best B&M invert in the country. Stealth, one of the best coasters in the country. Thorpe Park, the best Merlin park in the country. That's all from me. Many thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed a longer vlog. Finally a longer vlog here on Pleasure Beach Experience. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you at Blackpool Pleasure Beach in the next video.